Welcome to WROL Comic Chat. Okay, so guys, this is episode 2. You just finished listening and checking out episode 1. So this is the second part of what we recorded. And so, yeah, here's us kicking this off.
The next book or miniseries we got here is Blue Beetle Graduation Day. That just wrapped up and is also going to lead into Blue Beetle's new series in September as well. Boom, Sam, why don't you go ahead and start us off with that?
It's a nice enough story. It started out good enough. He's basically being Jaime is basically being shipped off to Palomero City. I don't know if you pronounce it like that, but it's a different city. He lives with his aunt, I think. He has to get a out of school job, and he's basically grounded, if you will, from being a superhero by Superman and Batman. That's how the first few books started. Then another Beetle character shows up, and they fight and everything. Ted Kord, Blue Beetle's in there, is trying to mentor him a little bit. And there's a offshoot of the Reach, I think. They're kind of like a group that rebelled against the Reach. I think they're called Horizon. Yeah, exactly. And at first it feels like they are coming to Earth to attack. But it turns out later that they're just seeking sanctuary. They're trying to they're running from the Reach, and they're just trying to find help from the Blue Beetle. So it started out well enough, but I think the book ended. Well, for me, it was a little bit weird because Superman and Batman were in there, and both of them didn't really feel like themselves. Both of them were like, both Batman and Superman are pretty leader type characters, but they both said, okay, let's just let this teenager who has little experience as a superhero, let him handle it, because it's his mess to clean or something, or it's his connection to the Reach that may help or something like that. And it really, to me, it felt out of character for both Superman and Batman. But if you can look past that, it was a good enough issue, good enough run for me.
He also explains that Kaja Da, the Scarab, starts talking to him again, starts communicating with him. It upgrades his suit. One of the highlights for me, of course, is Ted Kord being in this book to mentor Jaime, and his sister, Victoria Kord, who, I believe is going to be the antagonist of the next series, just setting it up, similar to the movie. I believe that's why, she was brought in. And, I enjoyed the issue. I'll buy anything with Ted Kord in it anyway.
I also like the purse snatcher, the thief that he tried to help, and he turned things around on him pretty quickly with this magical handbag that lets him do all kinds of magic stuff. Thought that was a little bit of a side story, but it was nice.
Well, yeah, and then the wrap up is the Horizon. It looks like they're going to attack, but it turns out they just need help. Jaime goes up there, powers his suit up all the way, helps save the day, lands the spaceship, and then invites all of the Horizon to live right there with him in Palomero City. The other heroes are like, oh, hey, how are you going to pay for this, buddy? Kind of. And then Victoria Kord comes down and is like, hey, we're going to fund it and we're going to set this up for Jaime.
I've always enjoyed Jaime. Anytime he pops up, I think that he is a good example of a legacy character being able to be something completely different from who he is established from. I mean, Jaime and Ted are about as far apart as possible, whereas, Ted and Dan Garrett were kind of like, are you sure this isn't just the same guy? But I thought it was a really fun series. I thought it was a good setup for Jaime. I think that if you're excited for the Blue Beetle movie that's going to be coming to theaters in August, I think that's when they finally set the date for it. This is a good series to kind of introduce you to where he is in the DC universe right now. And it's also kind of a good reflection, I think, of what they're going to be doing in the movie. He's kind of a young hero that's going to be more akin to like a Spider-Man who's got to try to figure out his own way and how to be his own hero in a world where it's already got all these established heroes. I definitely want to push back a little bit on you guys saying that Batman and Superman were mischaracterized. I think that both of them are kind of like, hey, we're going to let you handle it, but we're still going to be keeping an eye on it. So if you screw up, expect us to drop in, was kind of my takeaway from it. I think they've done that in the past with heroes where they want to give them the opportunity to rise to that next level of being a superhero.
Well, and plus, Boomy, at the end when Jaime is, he's spent all of his energy and he's coming back down to Earth, Superman is the one that goes up and saves him. So,
yeah, true. It just felt a little bit more out of character for Batman than for Superman, I guess. I think Superman would be a little bit easier, a little bit more laid back to let him handle it. But, I mean, come on, he's a total control freak. He would never let the reins slip, if you will. But that's just my opinion.
Well, I think that Batman has always been the classic, I'm going to let you think you're in charge, but really I'm still in charge. Is usually his approach.
Yeah, he probably had something in his utility belt for that situation if it went awry.
A Blue Beetle repellent.
Yeah, shark spray, right?
All right, guys. I think we'll pick back up with Blue Beetle when his new series starts in September, right after the movie. So going into our next book here, we have new number 1, brand new issue. By the way, guys, this is a great month to jump into comics. If you're looking for an opportunity to get in on comics, we have new number 1s from Green Arrow, Spirit World, Shazam, Green Lantern, Doom Patrol's on its 2nd issue, and then I believe in 2 or 3 months here, we're also supposed to be getting Superboy just started as well. Thank you. We're going to get not new number 1s, but they're going to be new creative teams, which, if you're not familiar with comics, are essentially new number 1s for Wonder Woman and Flash. So great time to be jumping in right now for DC. And, I for me, if you guys are listening to this and you know me on the Discords, if you jump into a comic and you don't know what the hell is going on, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to, help you guys get your feet wet in the comics world. And I'm sure the other 3 guys on here with me wouldn't mind answering questions for you as well.
Yeah, and I'm in like 3 or 4 Discords, so even though there's like 57 of them for the game, but I'm in a few of them. But Boom Sam you can find for sure.
Yeah, Boom Sam's an admin in every single one of them.
Yeah, almost. But yeah, you can. But feel free to reach out. I'm happy to talk about comics with anybody.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is if you're looking for recommendations, maybe some of these books you're talking about might be intimidating to you, and you just want a suggestion for, hey, where's a good place to start on this character? Feel free to reach out. We all have suggestions, and if we don't know, we can definitely look into it for you. Anyway, moving on into our next issue here, guys. We had Shazam. Digi, why don't you go ahead and break this book down? Let us know what you loved about it.
Yeah, Shazam was very fun. It starts with alien T-Rexes. He's talking to this family. They're having some kind of tea with him. If that shows you how the fun in this book. Also written by Mark Waid, one of my favorites. Anyway, But they kind of use this open for Billy to explain his powers, his acronym. It kind of gives you a good introduction to their world. They also explain why they are calling him the captain now, because...
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you're really burying the lead here. Talking T-Rexes. That should have been the first words out of your mouth. That's the most important thing that happened in this issue.
Oh, absolutely. Talking T-Rexes, baby. But he does get the new code name, the Captain. At first it's kind of like a joke, I believe. But he likes it because now he can say his name and not, get turned back into Billy and fall from the sky or land in the water or what have you. And also, you get to see a side panel where they're saying how disgraceful he is. And I believe that Zeus and Solomon, we're going to see them interfere with his powers, which at the end of the episode, as he's saving the day, he turns on the people and starts calling them peons and, they're dirty and why would you touch me? And then, he snaps back really quick and it's like, oh God, what did I do? And they ended on that kind of note to, draw you in, like, what's going on with Billy? Why did he have this snap? He's not in control of himself when he is snapping on the people. But it was a good first issue. It also explains, they also bring back Taki Tani, talking tiger that is helping his foster family.
He's the maid, the butler, whatever. Yeah.
We also see that Freddie, Pedro, Darla, Eugene, none of them still have their powers. And I guess they're still not able to share their powers from what happened in Lazarus Planet.
Yes. A couple of things I wanted to touch on is I really enjoyed how they broke down that being Shazam all the time is not fun. Because when you have the downtime and you have the little voice of the wisdom of Solomon telling you, hey, maybe you need to eat some vegetables, maybe a little less video games.
Yeah, very good explanation of why he isn't just Shazam all the time. So yeah, very.
One of the I just want to point out a piece of art that I loved in this issue was when he was talking about the podcast that he launches to talk about the Captain's exploits. I really enjoyed the art piece where it's got Billy and it's just his body has all the art from all of his different adventures and it's got the logo in the background. Just thought that was a really, really cool visual there for the book. Boom, what did you have for the book, sir?
I also like the part where, because he doesn't have super hearing, he has to rely on other means to get the source of the emergency, and he uses the podcast to do that. I thought it was very very clever. And at the end, Digi already mentioned that, where he snapped at the people he just saved. I am really hoping it's Mr. Mind, that it's that's somewhere in his ear or something that's making him do that, because I would really like to see Mr. Mind back again.
I do think it is going to be Mr. Mind. One of the things I've really actually enjoyed you just kind of snapped into my brain here is the fact that with all of these new relaunches, there's been a big focus on the classic villains for every single character that's gotten a relaunch so far. You got Parasite, Metallo, Livewire, Silver Banshee, Cyborg Superman in the Supes books. One of the things I think over the last 5-10 years in DC Rebirth, and even going back to the New 52, which, by the way, I think is actually like 13 years ago now. There was a lot of trying to invent new villains more so than tell classic stories with the classic villains. I thought that was the focus for a long time with DC, and I think that they're going back to their roots a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. But we talked about this in other episodes as well. How they have different versions or amped up versions of the villains that they had. We have a Parasite in the Superman books who is now multiplying, and they're and we have an amped up Metallo who's also creating other Metallos and everything. Even in the Batman book, where we have Venom enhanced versions of Two-Face and other bad guys. So if it is Mr. Mind, and if they are going to beef them up, do you think Mr. Mind is going to be a butterfly now?
Maybe he's a killer moth now. Who knows?
Who knew?
All right. I'm sure, again, we're going to be talking about Shazam month in and month out. So I think we're ready to move on to our next book. And that would be Green Lantern Top Gun. You guys want to tell me, Berger, why don't you kick us off on this one since you had to sit out Shazam?
Yeah, take us into the danger zone, Seacrest.
Yeah, so this, it's kind of, I love the books where Hal's on Earth. I'm always a big Green Lantern fan, as you guys know, but, the last iteration, I wasn't, as excited about every week, but I like it how he's back on Earth. He's getting back into his, I want to be, fighter pilot. I need work. And so touching base with Carol Ferris again. And so I really like the way that it's starting out. It introduced a new villain, that had Manhunter armor. Manhunter, everybody doesn't know, it was what came before the Green Lantern Corps. And so before the Green Lantern Corps, the Guardians basically made a bunch of androids. Well, the androids then started, basically kind of running their own thing and started saying, hey, the only way that we can protect people is by, oppressing or killing them. And so that's why the Guardians ended up going with, the traditional rings and Green Lanterns that you see everywhere else. So anyways, somehow a human gets the Manhunter armor. He's wrecking, he's causing destruction, doing all that. Hal Jordan attacks him without his ring. And then whenever the Manhunter fights back and uses his green energy on him, you see Hal Jordan get powered up. But it's showing like the dynamic between him and Carol, him getting back to how, everybody's first introduced with, Hal Jordan of, fighter pilot taking risks, strong overlays, having the most willpower, all that. But what I'm most excited about was kind of like the little mini series after the book. And so it goes into and it shows, so now John Stewart's back on Earth as well. And again, if you guys read the prior iterations, John Stewart basically becomes this all powerful, almost God level being, and ends up giving up that power to kind of save the day. But it ends up so now he's back on Earth. He meets up with his mom. And just doing menial kind of tasks around the house and kind of, shows that the human side of him, right? But then the thing, again, that kind of introduces it. But then what I'm most excited about is then it pans forward and it goes into the future, and it shows a Guy Gardner that's really beat up. And then
Andy has a man bun too.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So, and so basically what happened, again, in prior iterations, central power batteries explode is gone. There's a new power source that's kind of fueling the Green Lantern rings. And it introduces the Revenant Queen, who is, it seems like the mother of Bright Revenant. And it alludes to, her wanting to, obviously take revenge on the Green Lanterns. She's working several dead Green Lanterns as puppets. Seems to kill Guy Gardner. and basically is like, I want John Stewart. So it seems really cool. I really like the direction how it kind of jumps forward, kind of shows you what's going on. So I'm sure we'll continue to see some like bouncing around a little bit with like, what happens that's kind of leading up to this big bad. But she seems really powerful, and I'm really kind of excited to see where Green Lanterns and they kind of take this.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Berger. I just thought you said it was from the future with the Guy Gardner stuff. To me, it felt like a different universe, but it could be the future. I'm not sure. And I just wanted to add that with the things that happened in, it was either Dark Crisis or Lazarus. The human Green Lanterns were basically grounded on Earth because they didn't listen to the what they call the Guardians of the Universe. So they took away their powers, and now they don't have any Green Lantern rings.
Well, the Guardians have disappeared, and it says the United Planets have seized control.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. Sorry.
And they've also quarantined the Sector 2814, the Earth sector. So
yeah, the United Planets took control of the willpower stuff. And I thought it was really cool that when the guy with the Manhunter suit blasted him with the green energy, you saw that basically Hal was recreating his own ring again. So he forged his ring out of willpower again. So I thought that was really a very cool display of how much of a master of willpower Hal Jordan really is. He did that before. He hammered out his own ring from the not the Infinity Gauntlet, the Kronos Gauntlet in the past, and now he's again creating his own Green Lantern ring. I thought that was really, really awesome.
One of my favorite parts was, they're showing Hal's exploits on the TV, and it shows him in a bar, and the people are like, "Yay, I feel safer now." Hal's back, and then it pans over to see Sinestro in a hoodie, kind of, just kind of looking over, glaring at him.
I will say I'm not a big fan of them putting in Sinestro in this early. I kind of wish that they would have focused on some other villains. I don't know that they're going to jump into them within the next few issues or not, or if they're just teasing them. But I definitely would like to see Hal versus some of the non-Lantern villains for a little bit. A couple things I just wanted to talk about that you guys had touched on. I really enjoyed Hal just kind of sitting out on his RV going, really screwed this one up. Got $30 in the check account and got to figure out how I'm going to survive on it. And all I get to do is drink this soda, which was definitely a beer. I thought the way that they did the sky in that scene was actually really good. By the way, Berger and Boom and Sam, you guys were both right. It is another time in another universe, is what the panel description says when we go to that John Stewart story. Both of you guys are right. It is another time. It is another universe. I absolutely want to point out my favorite thing in this whole entire issue was that damn goat in the valley where they're just flying the planes. See the goat, and then Hal Jordan comes by. Goat's like, ah! And the next panel is just the jet trail after it.
Yeah, I just missed the notification where it said that no animals were harmed while creating this issue.
But the last thing I want to say is, this is the one that's writing the main book is Jeremy Adams, who's been doing The Flash, which, I will not shut up about that book. I really enjoyed that book so much. So I'm excited to see him on Green Lantern. And then the backup's being done by Philip Kennedy Johnson, who he did the WROL Rising book in Action Comics. So again, you got two just killer writers on this series. Really look forward to where they're going with it. Again, I've said this multiple times. This is going to be a book we touch on every single month. So I'm going to go ahead and get us moving on. We got a few more issues to cover here, guys. The next thing on our list here is Stargirl and We Lost Children. This was a six series issue that just wrapped up.
Yeah, it's a story about Stargirl, who is teaming up with Emiko at first, and they are investigating the death of sidekicks from the past, and they get thrown to an island out of time, where the beach is made up out of Miraclu or whatever it's called, the sand in Our Man's.
Yeah, Miraclo.
Yeah, that. Yeah, Miraclo, and they are chased by robots who try to kidnap them, and they get split up with all kind of different child versions of sidekicks that they had, like the sidekick for Mr. Terrific and all kind of other sidekicks that they had, all sort of forgotten heroes, forgotten sidekicks, and it ties into the Batman Flashpoint Beyond book, where they messed with time, and that's sort of the background of this story. They end up fighting a villain called the bird villain, Childminder. Thank you. Who's actually working for Our Man, who's been corrupted by, it turns out, a Time Master, or a version of a Time Master, an adult version of the Time Master. Yeah, I thought it was a cool story.
Corky Baxter, the Time Master.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I liked this a lot. It gave more insight into Our Man, and so I like Our Man. I liked him in the past when he was in JSA back in the day, and I like how he's kind of bleeding over a couple different books now. But so it gave some backstory on why he's doing what he's doing, who the big bad kind of is. Then it kind of pans forward and reintroduces all of these sidekicks, now heroes, into the main universe. And so it explained, hey, we can't take everybody back. We can only put them where they are now, or the timeline now. And so then it goes into, hey, they're going to be forming a new team. You start to see some of them meeting some of their old heroes. It alludes to, I think it was Ladybug being potentially maybe it was a little awkward. But then, it doesn't show it, but it shows, what was the Flash's daughter name? Jay Garrick's,
the Boom.
The Boom. So it shows, her coming up and him kind of looking over his shoulder, kind of surprised. And so, I really like the direction that it's going, and it'll be interesting to see what, Young Justice Society is able to do.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool that they didn't return all the sidekicks back to the original times, but they actually put them all in the current time zone. And I'm really hoping to see all the well, maybe not all of them, but a lot of the new sidekicks that they have now. I hope they sort of introduce them in a cool way into the main books that we have so far.
I really enjoyed this miniseries. I've always been a Stargirl fan. Ever since JSA, the JSA where she kind of debuted was kind of one of my first few comics I jumped into when I started reading comics. Overall, I thought the series was really good. It had a lot of characters is the only thing that I would complain about a little bit. We have like 20 different sidekicks in this book. Which I think that was a little bit much. I feel like that there's a lot of them that are underdeveloped and underserved. in the series. And, you know, going forward, maybe they get a chance to shine a bit more. Maybe they don't. I know Judy Garrett is going to be in a series with Jay come October, which DC did announce 3 new books, which let's make a little bit of time to talk about them at the end. Maybe they're all JSA related. I really enjoyed Courtney just refusing to give up on Our Man. It's one of those things that we talk about a lot in superhero comics is these heroes, they just refuse to quit, refuse to give up, no matter what the case is. And she is one of the best at doing that. The last thing that I wanted to mention on this is I really wanted to give Wing a shout out. He is Shiny Knight's sidekick. His sacrifice at the end was really, really well done, really noble. It was just nice to have that send off for him. And then having the 7 soldiers reform because of that was also a nice touch, I thought.
Agreed.
For sure.
And maybe we'll see a new 7 Soldiers book, hopefully.
That would definitely be fun. All right. So we got 2 more books here to wrap up on. These are both books that one book we've started to talk about every month, but another book where we've absolutely loved. But first up, we have Doom Patrol number 2. Why don't I throw it over to you, Boomstam, to kind of talk about it?
It's a weird book for sure, but I mean, you know, what are you expecting? It's the Doom Patrol. It's also a spin-off from one of the stories that took place in Lazarus. We have a new sort of roster of the Doom Patrol with a monster girl, I think she's called, and the new leader isn't, or the new chief, if you will, is actually the character that has like a
crazy Jane. Yeah,
crazy Jane. Yeah, it's just like a couple of different personalities running around through her head, and one of them is the new chief.
Niles Calder is still there on the administrative side.
Yeah,
and you can see the back and forth between the two. You can tell that Chief probably wants to take over again.
Yeah, he wants to. He's always been a shady character, a little bit of a shady character at least. And then there's this new character who has a sort of blue alien in his stomach or something that he lets out, and he's actually sent to infiltrate the Doom Patrol by, I think it's...
it's Peacemaker and General Blanche.
Yeah, Blanche. I was going to say Eiling, but it was a different general. Yeah, I mean, it was weird. It was the Doom Patrol. Maybe, Digi, maybe your thoughts on it?
You get, as... Beast Girl is taking Worm in, the kid that's sent there, by Peacemaker. You get to see the different levels of, they call it the shelter now. You get to see the different teams. You get to see how big their roster really is. And, of course, Worm gets exposed. He doesn't want to, betray the Doom Patrol. He ends up liking them. So Peacemaker's trying to do the old Suicide Squad, blow his head off. They jump up, he tells Robot Man and Beast Girl, like, hey, I betrayed you guys. I think they're going to try to blow me up. So Robot Man just launches him, as high as he can, and boom. But before that happened, he was like, hey, can you guys take care of this worm inside me? I think. Yeah, the name is Velvet, which we learn is the real operative behind, that I guess Peacemaker sent. So what you learn is there's still a, operative there, infiltrating the Doom Patrol. But I thought it was a If you know anything about the past, they show all of the old roster: Elastigirl, Flex Mentalo, Danny the Streets, even mentioned, and Mento. I mean, I like it. If you're wanting an introduction to something weird, you should give Doom Patrol a try.
No better review of any Doom Patrol book ever than Doom Patrol. It was weird.
Yeah.
All right, so let's throw it to our last book. I think Berger and myself are the probably two biggest fans of this book in the world. So I am going to let Berger speak on what is one of our favorite books. So Berger, go ahead and tell me what you thought of The Flash.
Oh yeah, no, I love how this is going. It's I love the direction it's going. It's really, I think my favorite part. So you see Our Man again in this, and then it kind of kicks back onto how Our Man got where he was, and so it shows him fighting Extant, which I believe was a 0 Hour callback from like the early 90s. And kind of like how he was lost. And then again, like the Stargirl and this combined kind of pieced together, like how he got where he was. And he was in prison for a while. And then he heard something.
Goodness,
yeah, he heard something and it turned out to be Granny Goodness. And so, in this book, it kind of shows, so was it Wally or not Wally?
Wallace?
Was it? No, who had the child?
Yeah, Wally had
Wally.
the child.
Okay. Yeah, Wally
Wade.
had the baby. And then all of a sudden, Granny Goodness comes in pretending to be a nurse, takes the baby. Then there's an explosion. And so it's them kind of all coming together. So you have several members of the Flash family coming together. You have Mr. Terrific coming in, Our Man showing up, Gold Beetle, which I really, really want to see more of her as well.
The entire Terrifics, by the way.
Yeah. And so it's really cool. And then it shows like, hey, we're going out to get our child back. But the end thing is like Granny Goodness is assembling like a whole new like kind of Furies team, and going around and taking the young children from different points to bring them together so she can train them and raise them as her own. So, but really cool, really exciting book, really fast paced. I'm really, really enjoying it.
All right, so I will second you on that, Berger. If we do not get a Gold Beetle book before the end of the year, I am personally going to be upset.
Riot. I'm going to hold my breath on one of these podcasts till DC does it.
I love the entire getting the crew together to go get Wade. This is just, I love the way that Jeremy Adams is just tying the entire run together. Even with that last page teaser with the tag team partner coming back from the Intergalactic Wrestling to jump in and help them out. I think that was a fun callback to earlier in the run. Jeremy Adams, he just does such a good job of just building the run and referring to the run. I will not stop singing this guy's praises. I will read every single book they put him on.
Oh, that name is Omega Bam Man, brother.
Thank you. I could not remember the name to save my life.
Yeah, what is it, like a purple, basically a purple guy. Hulk Hogan?
Yeah. Purple Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
Did you guys have anything you wanted to add?
Well, I just want to say that it was funny how they sort of commandeered the spaceship from Mr. Terrific, and Mr. Terrific was like, it's still my ship, what are you guys talking about? That was kind of funny.
Oh yeah, they do the Star Trek "Make It So."
Yeah.
Yeah, the references were out of control here. All right, guys, let's get towards wrapping this up. I did have a couple of pieces of news. One that I told you guys about, and then one that I hinted at, and one that I told you guys nothing about. So without further ado, Wonder Woman's getting a daughter. Again.
What?
What do you guys think of the new Wonder daughter coming forward? She's going to be known as Trinity, and she will be appearing in Tom King's upcoming Wonder. I don't know whether she's going to be in the run itself or if she's just going to be featured in a story. You guys got any thoughts on this? Anything new or original to talk about?
My guess is it's New 52 Superman's baby, his and Wonder Woman's love child.
That would complicate things.
Oh, that's hot right there.
Wonder how Lois would feel about this.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly right. Yeah. So DC, you're listening. Feel free to rewrite everything you've been planning and plug that in.
All right. So let's just do this rapid fire. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the new Golden Age series that are coming from DC come October. We have new ongoing series for Jay Garrick, where we're going to see more of Judy Garrick from Stargirl and the Lost Children. Alan Scott is going to get his own book. And then we are going to see the return of Wesley Dodds, the Sandman.
I would like to see Obsidian and Jane be a part of the Alan Scott book. I mean, that would make my day.
You mean Jade?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, which, by the way, that's one thing that's always bothered me is I managed to get Cheshire dubbed Jade in DCL, and now I'm just terrified of the day that Jade shows up and joins the roster, and I have to figure that one out, but that's a problem for future Hawkeye. The creative teams on this book for Green Lantern is going to be Jeremy Adams, who, again, like I said, I will read anything this man writes. It's going to focus on Alan Scott's greatest enemy, which is going to be the Golden Age Red Lantern. Then the Jay Garrick book. Oh, wait a minute. I apologize. Jeremy Adams is not writing that Green Lantern book. He is writing the Jay Garrick book. Sorry, I'm skimming these articles as I go. Which, again, super excited for that. I will still read it. Him writing The Flash, him writing Family Dynamics. Two of my favorite things about him. The correction, by the way, is Tim Sheridan is going to be the writer, and Ian Tormey from Superman, Son of Kal-El are going to be the creative team for Alan Scott. And then finally, Wesley Dodds is going to be done by Rob Vendetti, who I have a touchy relationship with. I did not enjoy his Green Lantern run at all. After Jeff Johns' epic run, he started it off with a giant fart joke.
Well, I mean, that's a hard act to follow up, Jeff Johns. I mean,
I agree. Just was not for me. And then Riley Rothamo, who is hit or miss on art for me, it's going to be the artist for that book. Any thoughts on any of these three books, guys? I know I'm trying to rush through this so we can get on with our lives since we've been doing this for almost 2 hours here.
Yeah, I'm excited for all of them. I mean, like you said, I will read everything they bring out. So,
and I'm sure we'll touch on these books going into October when they do debut. The last thing I have here for you is this is just something I read on the Hollywood Reporter today. We are getting closer to Superman Legacy official casting going down, but we are seeing names coming out that are attached to some of these roles. Currently, it's being reported that the front runner for Superman is David Cornsweet. Not sure how to say his last name. He has been a guy that I've seen thrown around for Superman casting since this was announced. I think that he does have a pretty strong resemblance to the outgoing Superman, Henry Cavill, so pretty okay with that choice. Then we have one of the major names being thrown around for Lois Lane is Emma Mackey. Another name that has popped up is Rachel Brosnahan, And boom, I'm sharing this article with you, bud. But the big thing is apparently they are going to be featuring Lex Luthor in this movie, and there's only been one name supposedly tied to this casting, and that is Nicholas Hoult, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with his work. He was Beast in the newest X-Men movie.
Oh, yeah. I know him.
What are the X-Men?
I honestly, I've always wanted to see him play the Joker personally, but I think he'd be a solid Lex.
Well, it's not as interesting as my JLI casting from last episode. You know that.
Sorry. I didn't mean to laugh.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so we should be in relatively soon. I feel like we should be coming up with the official casting for these roles. So hopefully within probably the next month's episodes, we have a solid casting news for that, and we can all get excited for the upcoming relaunch of the DC universe.
Yeah, they also said that Crypto was going to be in the Superman Legacy movie, so I'm looking forward to that.
And I cannot wait to see how Sean Gunn performs as a dog.
Yeah, that sounds like one of my casting choices, right?
Just a little bit. All right, guys, it has been a blast. Like I said, we've been doing this for a while. We'll probably actually split this up into 2 episodes for you guys, just to make it a little bit more manageable. Hopefully, I'm going to knock on wood because we say this every week. Hopefully we will be back next week with a brand new episode, going over next week's unbelievable lineup of new books, ongoing books. Guys, it was a blast. I can't wait till the next episode. Burger, why don't you bring us on home? Boom. You guys got anything that you want to sneak in here? Feel free.
No, just like you said, I'm looking forward to the next episode. Looking forward to hanging with you guys again and talk about our favorite pastime, reading comic books.
Yeah, and so everybody, thanks a lot for tuning in. It's always a blast being able to hang out with you guys and talk about things that we love, DC, and I know you guys were listening and checking it out. Feel free to hit us up for some of our brilliant ideas that we've thrown around, and storylines and all that stuff. But yeah, we love it, and we love all you guys, and can't wait till we get together next time.